All right, we are live. Bracken's got some computer things, so it's perfect timing. We'll get it figured out though. Like we're all just a bunch of friends hanging out. So this is
All right.
fun to jump on for our second live stream. You doing okay, Bracken? You need
Yeah,
time? Okay.
it's getting here. I'm getting closer. If this one will keep working, that's great. But I am getting this little bit better computer. I think this will make a significant difference.
Well, you sound great. You look even better, Bracken. So
Maybe we'll just roll with this then.
the goal, Bracken and I kind of got together, and our goal was to connect with the beekeeping community. And that's what we're doing, not just here in Utah. We have a special interest and focus on Utah because that's where we are, but around the world. And we saw that in our first live stream. It was fun to connect with folks from New Zealand and Australia and in California and Alabama. Roll Tide. Never thought I'd say that, but grateful for everybody that joined. But our goal is to just connect with you now. Anything you would add to that, Bracken?
No, I agree. I love the community that we got, and I hope with this I know there's a lot of live stream videos out there, but if we can, help people in our area or our community, western side, I guess, of the United States, seems like there's quite a bit of bee chat on the East Coast. There's not a lot over here in this area, so yeah, I'm hoping we can reach out and get a little bit of following going on and have some fun while we do this.
Yeah, I think that's the point, is to have a lot of fun, build the beekeeping community and have fun. Now, today we're going to give updates on our hives, what's been going on. I know Bracken's been super busy. We also have the live stream today is focused as it was, not focused, sponsored as it was last week by Apis Tactical. So I don't know if you can see that Apis Tactical little logo right there. We're giving away the sweet hive tool today. I don't know what the other name is, but the rhino liner that you put in the back of your truck,
Yeah,
kind of that paint or whatever you call that. They
yeah,
have that rhino liner. What's that?
yeah, the rough texture.
Yeah, that rough texture. They put that on here. The tools are super sturdy. So we'll give one of these away at the end of this show and end of this live stream. And all you have to do, and we'll repeat this throughout the live stream, is put hashtag Hive tool, hashtag Hive tool in chat. I'll put it in there just so you guys can see.
And until we get going and get a good following, there's a pretty good chance you're going to win.
Yeah, it was fun. We gave away some gloves last week. Jonathan, welcome. Jonathan Stevens from Old Glory Bees. If you want Hive tool, a chance to win Hive tool at the end of this stream, go ahead and put hashtag Hive tool in there. Anybody else that's on the stream, go ahead, put in chat where you're Hey, listen, we're bee guys. Nobody claimed to be tech guys over here. Like, so give us a break. Give Bracken a hard time in the chat, but go ahead and put hashtag Hive tool in the chat if you want a chance to win the Hive tool, and also put where you're coming from. Smith Chronicles joining us for the second time, coming from Baltimore, Maryland. I know that they've got a lot of beekeeping going on out there. Bracken, let's start with this before we get into the unlikely beekeeper. Welcome.
Hey, where are these guys from? I'm curious. I don't know where is the first guy, Jonathan Stevens, Old Glory Bees.
Yeah, if you're on there, put where you're coming from in the chat. I know that.
Yeah, I want to see where this is hitting.
We'll keep reminding people. Bracken, why don't I mentioned this on the last live stream? We ought to get an update on the new addition to your family, how you guys are doing, and then maybe we'll jump into the Hive updates.
Okay, there's a Michigan. Okay, how my family's doing? Oh man, it's been a ride. So I had the new baby boy. He was born on April 19th. He was a big boy, 8.7 pounds. Sorry, I got distracted. I'm going to be reading these chats. but he's doing good. Mom's having a little bit of some stuff going on after, but she's doing well. We're starting to see an incline there, and yeah, his name's Cole. He's brand new to the family. It's gonna be good having a little baby boy to carry on the Barker name. So I come from a family of 4 older sisters, and my father comes from a family of 3 sisters, and he was the only boy. So the Barker name carried with him, and then he had 4 daughters, and then had me later. I wasn't necessarily planned, but I wasn't necessarily an accident either. That's a whole different story. But anyways, he got his boy. Well, then I've been having all girls, and now my last one is a boy. So the Barker name's going to live on one more generation.
That's good, man. That's good. And how's he doing?
He's doing great. He's eating good. I'd knock on wood, but he's been a great baby. He sleeps a lot, but
how are his older sisters taking into him?
He does have an older brother too. I got 2 older kids that are bonus kids. They're from my wife's first marriage. They're great kids. They're my kids. I call them my bonus kids, or just my kids. But everybody loves them. Everybody's fighting over him. Who gets to hold him? Who gets to, feed him or change his diaper? It's great. It's been good.
Well, We're happy for you, man. Like last live stream last week, Bracken was literally in the ICU taking care of business there. And I don't know how he did it, but somehow he was posting YouTube videos from the hospital, but productive. Let me kind of throw this out there to those on the live stream. Appreciate the engagement on the chat, but if you have comments or questions throughout, throw them on there. And again, if you want to, we're giving away a Hive tool today. So if you want to win a chance to win a Hive tool, throw in from Apis Tactical. They've been really good to us here. Throw in hashtag Hive tool in the chat, and we'll spin for a winner.
And if you put your questions, how they do on a lot of them that I've seen, they put it in all caps. That way they stand out a little bit more from the other comments.
Yeah, I love that. So Bracken, let's just take a minute and then let's get an update on your hives. We got folks here from, looks like we got Michigan, we got South Central Pennsylvania, the Unlikely Beekeeper. Thanks for joining, and the community out there. Go sub to their channels and just connect the community. That's one of our goals here. We've got Colorado. I probably missed somebody.
Maine.
Oh yeah, there we go. I saw Bruce. I know Bruce is coming from Alabama. There we go.
Oh, Alabama.
Yeah, plenty of beekeepers in Alabama. Bracken, why don't you? Thanks for the update on your family. Why don't we give quick updates on your hives? What are you up to?
So this week, what little bit of time I have been able to give to the bees, I made some splits from my California bees that came back. I brought home 36 splits. They're all doing great. Not all. There's a few, queen issues here and there, but overall they're doing really well. Then I took my big double deeps and I made some splits out of those, the ones that were super strong. I think I made 12 splits, and I got my queens from Oki's Queens. I had him send me some overnight. He packages them really well, sends them, I think they come UPS. It was UPS or FedEx. I think it's UPS. Anyways, but he overnighted them to me. I got them on, what's today? Today's Thursday. I got them on Tuesday. And as soon as they showed up, I greeted the guy, grabbed the box, went and placed them in my hives, placed them in the nukes that I made, and the splits were queenless for about 2-3 days. So I gave them a little bit of time. I I should have got some better video. However, I didn't. I was pretty short on time. But so this week, that's what I did. I've topped off. I've already fed 2 gallons of sugar syrup to almost all my colonies. There's quite a bit of a flow starting right now. There's a lot of trees blooming. I noticed some choke cherry trees today that are in bloom, and there's quite a few of those around the farm. There's a lot of other little stuff. So I'm trying to build up comb in a lot of my stuff too. So some of them I am still pumping some syrup into them just because I want to get some wax drawn out. But for the most part, that's it. They're all sitting at a spot. The queens are still in their cages. I was going to go through tomorrow and see if they've been released, because he sends those little black tubes that are about an inch long and packs them full of that, candy. And so I just put those on there, and yeah, if there's a lot of bees, I know they can eat through them pretty quick, but it seemed like pretty decent stuff this time. And so, yeah, that's where I'm at tomorrow. Probably going to do that, check, see if any of the queens have released, and hopefully get some of these nukes sold. So
Bracken, tell us about that a little bit. You said you got the hives from California. You immediately went and made a pile of splits, and you had ordered the bees. Now, I'm assuming these walkaway splits, they didn't have queens in them. So when you put those new queens in them, weren't they already making queen cells? Like, how do you think about that?
Yeah. So some of them that I knew had some pretty young larvae and stuff, I checked, and I went in there and I just pinched the cells, or just, started it. Some of them had started, but I tried to find a lot of my stuff that I made splits on was capped brood. So I also kind of feel like that queen's going to get out of that cage and released before, they can get anything going with those queen cells. So I look, but I don't spend a whole lot of time trying to find, I don't go through every frame and find it.
Yeah, you just assume the bees are going to take care of it.
Yeah, when I make my nuke, I put, if I do a frame that's got a lot of eggs and larvae, I put that right in the center. Excuse me. So if I am going out, I can check that one, and the other ones are usually 2 frames of good capped brood, So if there is a queen cell on there, there's probably only one. I know it only takes one, but I honestly just dump the queens in there and wave them off. Let them do their thing. If they don't want to accept the new queen and they kill her and they go with a hatched queen, then so be it.
So you've got an I shouldn't say easygoing. Bracken, my observations, if you go watch Bracken's videos, I would say he has a easygoing, work hard approach to his bees. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, Bracken. Like you subscribe to the philosophy of the bees know what they're doing. I'm gonna let them take care of themselves, and I'm gonna go grow the sucker and let them do their thing.
Yeah, they know best, and I think there's a lot of people that agree with that and feel that way. But yeah, the bees know what they're doing, and if they don't want the queen, they're not going to accept it, and they're going to do what bees. My mentor Brad, I don't know if he's on here or not. If he is, Brad, send a message there. But he always says bees will be bees. Bees will do what bees want to do. We can spend so much time and effort trying to manipulate them and trying to get them to do this or that. But when it comes down to it, they are an individual organism that is going to do what they want, regardless of what we do. I think you could go through and do every step possible to prevent swarming. And if they want to swarm, they're going to swarm.
Yeah, I'm learning that. Bracken, by the way, if you want to switch computers, I've got you teed up here. You just give me the thumbs up and I'll switch you.
Yeah, this might be a little glitch here. Let's try it.
Okay, I'm going to remove you here. Add them there. There we go. Okay, we've got some more people that have jumped on here. We've got a few folks from Louisiana, it looks like. Welcome from Louisiana. And everybody
on here.
Yeah, you got a little echo, but we can hear you. Just turn off that other computer. So tell us where you're from. And for those that are just jumping on, put Hive Tool, hashtag Hive Tool on there. And we've got this sponsored by Apis Tactical for this live stream. And we're going to give this Hive Tool at the end of the show. So Bracken and I, one of our goals is to connect the beekeeping community and just have fun. And part of that is we want to give stuff away. So we're going to do that. EL, that's Elizabeth just jumped on here. That's her priority. She's going to Dave Burns. Like, we love Dave Burns over there. The guy barely knows what he's talking about, though. I don't know why you joined Dave Burns rather than us. I'm just kidding. Elizabeth, she won the gloves last week. So, and she's in California, so we sent her some Apis Tactical gloves last week. So I'd love to hear how she goes. But Damon put hashtag Hive Tool in there. But appreciate everybody joining. Bracken, before we tell, I wanted everybody to hear about your trip to California. I'll give a quick update on mine.
Yeah, we need an update on yours first.
Okay, well let's do that. I Bracken, tell us first, how many hives do you have?
I don't know.
How many to count? Like 40, 50, 100?
With this, I'm under 100, and I don't think I'm around 65 right now, I think. That's because I've made a couple quick splits. You know, I found a really good queen cell in one, and you know what I mean? So I've got some that are starting, but I don't really count. I mean, I count them as a hive, but I've got a lot of little ones going. But as far as like double deeps, actually active colonies, I've got probably 35, 40 right now. And then the rest are in splits.
So the reason why I asked that is Bracken's, he's going to go and he's going to double his hives this year or more, and would say that he's we got Grayson joining here from Wildwoods Honeybee Farms. Love Grayson. He's so good at connecting the beekeeping community. So good about it. Really love him.
Yeah, he's good.
But I bring that up. So we'd consider Bracken a sideliner. I am a backyard beekeeper, and I love it. I've got 3 hives in the backyard. I'm on, let's see, week 3 of the Damare method, the Damare maneuver. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I talked about that last week. And the idea behind that is to keep the bees from swarming, to give them space and make them think that they split. But the bees didn't I guess didn't agree with my intent of that, and they're still trying to swarm. So as a backyard beekeeper,
they're doing what they want to do.
They're doing what they want to do. So I'm doing what I want to do, and I'm trying to keep them from swarming. So I've got a video that I'll post here in about a week or so on that. But the other hive, I did a split on and growing like crazy. So I added another super this last weekend. And then the third hive that I have is there was no queen there. So I split into that hive, and it'll be 3 weeks this Saturday. So I'll go in there and see if there's a mated queen in there. Isn't that about the time? About 3 weeks after 3-4 weeks?
Yeah.
We split. So hopefully I see her in there, and hopefully she's laying eggs. If she hasn't, then I'll go buy a queen from somebody. Bracken, it looks like you recommend Oki's Bees. Maybe I'll check them out.
Yeah, I have had a lot of good success with him. Have you ever looked at the queen rearing calendar on, I wonder if I can post it here in the link.
Shoot, yeah. Send me the link or something, and I'll show everybody. What do you tell us about it?
It's so you go in there and you can put it. It automatically figures out everything. You just click on the day that you're gonna graft but I use it for more than just grafting. Or like if you see a capped queen cell, you can go on there and put the today's date and then line up where the hatched queen or the capped queen cell is and look, and it'll tell you when to look for eggs. Tells you when to look for capped. You know what I mean? just really, it's a sweet tool. I love the little online things, and
I'll have to check that out. What's that one called again?
yeah, I'm trying to get it. Hold on, let's see if I can.
For those, I saw Grayson just joined. Again, for those that want to win this Hive tool at the end, go ahead and put hashtag Hive tool in the chat, and we'll put you into the wheel of names for a chance to win that at the end. Grammy's giving you some advice here, Bracken. She tells you when to leave them alone, which is probably good.
Yeah, there. I posted it. I don't know. Share your referral link. Oh man. Did it pop up? Did anybody see that on the chats?
Nope. Like I said, we're beekeepers here, so
yeah, we are. Jed, I'll send it to you directly. Maybe you can post it.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's called Queen Rearing Calendar. It's rosehaven.ca. I sent you a link here. Wonder if I can type that, but
yeah, we'll get it. Bracken, tell us about, you went and you sent a bunch of your hives out to California over the winter. Tell us, that was your first time doing that, I think. Like, tell us about not your first time, second time?
First time I took them out myself. It was my third year doing it. Oh, let's see. Yeah, third year.
Well, tell us about your experience and what you learned, what, for those that may want to do that in the future, what you would advise them to do or not to do.
Yeah, so it's awesome. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, a lot of timing, a lot of prepping. You know, I'll be prepping to get them ready for California in July. You know, you got to make sure the mites are down and all that stuff. But I took them down. I just got a hold of a guy. It's actually Oki. You know, he's I would say he's a commercial guy. He sells queens. That's what he does for, you know, that's the majority of his money comes from queens. Great queens, love his queens. But he messaged me on Instagram. I think it was Instagram one time, and he asked me a question about my feeder buckets. And him and I just started talking. And before you knew it, it turned into this, you know, it was, you know, pen pals. We were texting each other every day, talking about bees. And, you know, he was asking me stuff there. And anyways, I had bought some queens from him, and then we went a little bit further, and I finally was like, hey man, I got kind of hosed on my last contract and stuff down there with California, and I want to cut out the middleman. Do you know of anybody that I could just bring the hives to directly? And he was like, yeah, bring them to me and I'll take care of them. So I was like, oh, sweet. You know, so it was a trial run. We did it, and man, they did great. He kept them well. He kept me updated. He sent me pictures. He sent me videos. He sent all sorts of stuff. And the other guy that I used in the past, not that he didn't do a great job, but he was a big commercial guy, and he always told me, and I kind of got this. He always told me that I will put my hives first, like, and I get it because they were what was making his living. You know what I mean? He was supporting his life off of his colonies. So if he had time to get to mine, he would, but if he didn't, he wouldn't, you know. So there was kind of that. They still did pretty good. I still had pretty good as far as bees go. My bees went there, they came back, and they were strong, and all that went well. But there was some communication errors that was really frustrating. So I decided to cut out the middleman, and that's why I went to Oki. But Oki, I felt like he was making my bees priority. Like the way he would talk to me and fill me in and keep me updated, it was more like he was putting his bees on the back burner, you know, to make mine. So I had a super great experience this year with him, and bees came back great. He even shook. So between all the colonies that we took down there, I think he said he shook 90 pounds of bees for his queen cells, for his mini mating nukes and stuff to help build them queen cells. So not only did I split them all twice, but he also shook 90 pounds of bees from all my colonies. So that tells you like how much they can produce down there in California, how big they can get. And the brood, I could probably split some of mine again, but
I
it's
want to
sorry.
ask more questions about this, but this is to lead into the question. I'd love to know from the folks on the chat, like, have you sent the first question, like, have you sent your stuff out to be pollinated or to your hives out to pollinate in the past? I think the main place that people go is California. So if anybody's done that, raise your hand. And that
Oh,
leads
Bruce
to,
has.
oh, has he?
Yeah, Bruce has done it before.
The next question I have is, I don't know what, I'm a backyard beekeeper. I'm assuming 3 hives isn't enough. I don't know that I'd be interested. Slide liners, it makes a lot of sense. Commercial makes a lot of sense. What do you, if you know that, like, what is the minimum amount of hives?
I don't think there's a minimum. I think it's whoever's willing to take them out and do it. But I will tell you, here's my 2 cents on it. I've taken some buddies, a couple guys with me here and there, and I think what I'm going to do going forward is, if somebody does want to send their bees with me, or if I want to set something up, like, there's going to be a minimum. Most brokers, I don't think they care if half the bees come from one guy, half come to them. It's bees. You know what I mean? They don't have a minimum. They just want hives. They want 400 colonies or whatever. And they don't care where the beekeeper got them. So the beekeeper might have 1 or 2 colonies from a, backyard guy or something. But he don't care as long as he's got his bees. However, what I noticed on my end, it was kind of a pain to keep track of like 1 or 2 colonies versus all of them. So going forward, I think if I ever have anybody send them with me, I want them to be able to fill a pallet, because that's another thing too, is so a minimum of 4, because you send 2 on a pallet, well, then you got 2 dead spaces. And then what do? Do you mix your bees onto theirs? Well, then that frees up, you know what I mean? It just kind of gets, you got boxes here, boxes there, so if somebody can send bees with a commercial guy, I would try to personally send enough to fill up a pallet, 4 or 8, that's my opinion. Some people might be willing to take 1 or 2, but for me, that was kind of a pain.
So for somebody like Tiny Creek Bee Company that's on there that has 10 now, getting to 12, they could connect with somebody like you, fill up a pallet, or you could get multiple people and have a load to send out. That's probably what a lot do.
Yeah, and I like the same. It just makes it easier for travel. Like, if I have 1 pallet that's got 2 on it, well, then when I load my bees, I've got to stack that accordingly, and I've got to make sure, but then, like, having the same sort of equipment, the same pallet, that's another thing that I issued, or this year, I had 2 different styles of pallets. One would load from the side and one would load from the front. And it was doable because I didn't have that many. But going forward, I am going to use the same pallet on everything. So it is dress right dress, and it is the same. So if I was to take people's stuff, like, this is the pallet you have to use, you can use one of mine, or borrow it, whatever. Telescoping lids, so you don't have the big gaps, you can cinch things together. Because not telescoping, did I say telescoping? Migratory.
Okay.
They've got to be able to be pretty. You can't send them on just well, I guess you could, but I wouldn't take somebody's bees who just have them on a baseboard and a telescoping lid. Like, I wouldn't wrap that up and just put it on the trailer and take it, because it doesn't square things up.
Oh, that makes sense.
What did Bruce say there? Yeah, if they can't fill up at least 1 pallet, they don't have any business. Yeah, that's, and not that somebody out there wouldn't take them. They might take onesies, twosies, but if you're going to do it, try to send at least 1 pallet minimum.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like Tiny Creek's the comment there. I just heard too many horror stories about sending bees to pollination. I'm afraid of losing bees or them getting sprayed. I certainly think that's. I mean, this last season was infamous for that happening. I don't know that it didn't sound like it happened to you, Bracken, but a lot of people lost bees there.
Yeah, and that one's again a lot of this. There's a lot of personal opinion in these, and I mean, it depends on where you're located too. Like Bruce down in Alabama, he has pretty decent beekeeping season all year round. So he doesn't necessarily need ours here in Utah, they get cold. We have a hard winter, and to me it is easier on the bees for them to be in California than it is here. Not saying that they can't survive here, because they do, and they can come out here well, but to me it's a gamble either way. Like, you're either going to send your bees to the almonds and risk maybe being sprayed, or you're going to leave them here in Utah and you risk them freezing to death or getting wet or start, you know what I mean? And if your bees do come out of California good, to me the reward is higher, because you can make 4 splits. I have bees coming out of winter from here that I made 1 split off of one, but they're nowhere near as far ahead as my California bees are.
Yeah. To your point, Tiny Creek saying they're going to go from South Carolina to California. That probably increases the risk.
Yeah, see, and that I agree with that. And if he's that far South Carolina, yeah, I can't imagine, because it's stressful on those bees. It's got to be. You're bouncing down that freeway, and I think a lot of the loss is probably more from travel than it is from being sprayed, because a lot of those almond orchard masters, and again, there are commercial guys out there that would laugh at me probably what I'm talking about, but like, to me they seem to be fairly, because those bees are what make their crop good. Like, I don't think they intentionally go out there and just start spraying I think they communicate with the beekeeper and say, hey, I'm going to spray. Now, being a farmer as well as a beekeeper, you have to realize, like, there's times when we're beekeeping and you have a capped queen cell, it's go time, right? Like, you've got to do something about that then and now. Well, it's the same with farming. There's times when farmers, they have to spray, and they got to spray now, because they got to spray before the bud or after the bud. Like, there's a specific time frame to these things. They're not just going out there and spraying for the fun of it, to kill bees. But if they contact the beekeeper and say, hey, you need to get your bees out, and the beekeeper doesn't, like, to me, that farmer's probably not going to wait for that beekeeper to get them out, because he's earning a living as well.
Yeah, the way I think about it, haven't done it before, may not ever, but the way I think about it generally, being a backyard beekeeper, is spraying is part of the deal. People are going to spray. Like,
You're not going to stop
hives in the backyard. You think people aren't spraying their gardens, spraying,
Yep.
keeping other, it's just part of the deal. And yeah, you'll lose some bees, but the bees also figure it out. Like, we worry about it. I think the bees for the most part are all right. That's just my opinion. I know that there are different opinions on that.
Yeah.
Bruce had a comment on here where he said, just pull a nuke out of each colony and you will make as much as you will clear going to Cali. Talk about that, Bracken, your perspective on the financial benefit. Like, you're weighing pros and cons. Like, what does that look like? It's a lot of work to be sending or driving your bees out there, picking them up, putting them in with somebody else. Like, what's the financial incentive to do that?
Yeah. So I've got a finance spreadsheet. Like, I am making a profit going to California. I wouldn't be doing California if I wasn't. Like, I don't want to do these bees and it's farming and it's agriculture. So I totally understand the loss and the risk sending bees. If I lose them one year and it screws me, then that's part of agriculture. That's the name of the game. But financially, I'm pretty close. It's not. It cost me a few $100 of fuel. Well, more than that. I mean, I was just shy of like $700 both trips there and back, 700 each. So there's $1,400 in fuel, right? But I didn't stop and eat anywhere. I didn't, I took snacks. I didn't get a hotel. I slept in my truck. So to me, it wasn't that much. And what I spent on fuel and then prepping them here, I'll get back. I'll make that back tenfold. My contract was pretty decent, and we'll get paid a decent, little chunk. But if you're again shipping them from Bruce's area, from Alabama or South Carolina, like your shipping cost is going to be significant more, quite a bit more. And so I don't know. Selling a nuke probably is worth more than what they get out of the almonds. And also, if you're paying a broker, Oki and I made a deal where he basically took care of my bees for a pretty reasonable cost because I let him shake my bees and use my bees to help make his queens, right? However, if he wouldn't have done that, he would have took a chunk of that contract fee. He still will, but it won't be as much. So I'm sorry, I'm rambling there, but to me, it is financially worth it until it's not, right?
Yeah.
Like so far it has been for me. So I'm going to continue to proceed.
And I love this point by Bruce. I'm a hobbyist. Like I am not like I don't know about the rest of you. Like if the rest of you, if you've got backyard beekeepers out there they're like I am, I don't know. What hobbies do you have? Like, what are people's hobbies out there? You don't make money on your hobbies. If you're making money on your hobbies, you're doing something well. I could probably make money on beekeeping, but like a few $100s, like I don't care. This is fun. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. What Bracken just described, really cool for sideliners, certainly for commercial beekeepers. Me, that sounds terrible. Like I don't want to ruin my fun. Like I'm having fun. I see Tiny Creek saying like he loves just raising bees and growing more colonies. Like that's where I'm at. And if you can have fun doing the pollination thing, great. Like great. Or if you're making money, that's great too. Like that, like Bracken is. But just watching you and hearing you talk about it, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work, which is fine. Bracken, let's target an hour, which means we got 22 minutes left. I'd love to get into this topic about we're in mite treating season, at least here in Utah. I think maybe it's always mite treating season, but particularly in the spring. Would love to hear from the folks in the chat some of their strategies for treating mites. Are you using OA, vaporizers, sponges, Apivar, Formic Pro? Like, what are you doing? Bracken and I will talk about it. Would love to hear what some of y'all are doing. Bracken, what are you doing this spring, or what's your strategy?
So they got Apivar strips dropped in them while they were in California, shortly before I brought them back. Once they got back here, they've still got the Apivar strips in them, and then I've been hitting them every week with oxalic acid vapor. And let's see, so I've done that. They've been back 3 weeks. So they've got 3 rounds. I'll probably do 2 or 3 more rounds. It doesn't take long for me. I bought 2 of those instant vapes. I've got, so I can run through my colonies pretty dang quick. So to me, it's worth it. I blow it in. I blow the OA in there, but then once that's done, and I pull my Apivar strips, I use the Randy Oliver sponge method. I do the OA oxalic acid. I melt it down. Didn't you do a video on that just recently?
Yeah, man. Like my strategy is, I've got a couple strategies, but one is always have OA sponges in my hives. Like I
I love
always have.
those sponges.
They just last a while. You know that you're always treating the bees with it.
Yeah,
It's
I think
really,
there's.
really simple. Yeah,
I usually wait till they're either dried up. They usually don't dry up too bad, but my bees are they must be pretty hygienic because they pick them apart quite a bit. Like usually the sponge is gone before it's probably not usable or treating for mites. So let's see, what is this?
Yeah, let's deviate for a second. I love this by Nathaniel. So Nathaniel's in Utah. We're trying to grow the beekeeping community in Utah. I can answer this with my thoughts on it. But Nathaniel, why don't you tell us where in Utah you're from? That might help. You have any thoughts on that question, Bracken?
Yeah, I know Deseret Hive in North Ogden. They have an extraction room back there. Linden. That doesn't narrow it
Lyndon,
down for me.
Lyndon, he's my next door neighbor.
If it's not in Box Elder County, I don't know where it is. I've lived in Utah my whole life, but if it's past Smith and Edwards, I don't know where you live.
Nathaniel, I'll drop my email in here. Shoot me a message. You can come over to my house. I got plenty of beekeeping gear. Let's bring your kids over and let's I'll show them what's what. I usually do my honey extraction out in Roosevelt, Utah, and that's a riot. Like I would love to take you, your family, whoever on a hive inspection, something like that. I don't know official places. So Deseret Hive, Bracken.
Yeah, it's a little bee store up here in Ogden. And I don't know if you can go I think you can. I think you can go back there and see all the stuff. Like I don't know if they'll let you back there while they're extracting. They might, but they got a little showroom floor that you can go back there and see their stuff. They also do classes up there.
That's cool. So back on the mites. So when I do the OA sponges in the spring, I keep them in there 6-8 weeks. You can keep them in there longer. That's kind of what I do. I might put them in again in the summer, but I definitely put them in the fall going into winter. So I'll have my OA strips will stay in there all winter. They're always in there. So I'm always kind of treating.
Yeah.
And then what I do is I use Formic Pro as soon as it's warm enough. So in Utah, it hasn't been warm enough. I think, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Grayson, you just put in there that you use Formic Pro. I think it's like 50 to 85 degrees. I think you want it to be between 50 and 85 degrees. Maybe it's like 45 to 85 degrees. But as soon as it hits those temperatures regularly in Utah, I'll throw them in with OA sponges. So I'll throw those in with OA sponges. Maybe that's overkill, but I don't want to take the OA sponges out. So in the spring, I'll use Formic Pro, and then I'll do it again in the fall. That's kind of my strategy.
Yeah, I wash regularly. I check them once a month or more if I feel the need. I think those are daytime highs, but I might be wrong. Bruce always talking about temperature.
85 degrees.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never used Formic. I've never used that. I want to, and I wouldn't mind trying some different stuff. But here's my what I have been doing. I'm not saying it's 100% effective, but it has been effective and it has been working. So I'm kind of
stay with it.
Why change it if it's working? Like the whole California thing. I'll do it till I don't make an income, till it becomes to where it's not, and then I'll figure something else out.
That's some advice that I got early on from the beekeeping mentor. We know about the beekeeping community. We know that everybody will have a different opinion. Like here we are talking about mite treatment, and there are probably folks in the chat that are like, I don't treat for mites. Like I don't want to treat for mites. Like, so treatment free. Great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
If it works for you.
If it works, and that's the advice. If it works for you, keep doing it. So the way I overwinter, we're not talking about that today, but the way I overwinter my bees has always worked. And so I'm just going to keep doing it. And
Yep.
for new beekeepers out there, you probably ought to find a mentor that keeps bees alive, and they'll give you their opinion about things that work for them, and just keep doing it, even if other people have different opinions. Ooh, okay. So this is Bruce telling us this is good for those using Formic Pro. You have to. I shouldn't say you have to, because there's treatment-free approaches, but for everybody else, you got to treat for mites. Formic Pro is one of the main ways. So don't let it get over 85 within the first 3 or 4 days. It's potent stuff. And I think you can do it when it's colder weather, but it doesn't distribute as well.
Yeah, it doesn't evaporate or do its thing.
Okay, so I might be adding I probably will add Formic Pro to my hives this weekend. I have to admit, like, my worst experience with Formic Pro, because it can be strong. You have 2 approaches. You can put in 1 strip or 2 strips. It's like 1 strip for 7 days, and then you replace it with another strip. So it's a total 14 days, or you can do 2 strips for a week. Well, I went into a weekish hive coming out of spring, used the 2 strips, and it just wiped them out. Just killed them, because it's strong. Like, it's just strong stuff. And so what I've done in the spring, generally speaking, regardless of the strength in the hive, I do 2 weeks of one strip, just
7 days, and then another 7 days.
And you haven't used them, Bracken, so maybe you don't know on this. I'd love to know from other people that have used it. As I've watched, and I swear that this is true, as I've watched Formic Pro over the years, they've gone back and forth. First, they said, don't do it during the honey flow. Then they said it's okay to do during the honey flow. And I just was looking it up the other day, and right now they're saying it's okay to do during the honey flow. I'm actually, like, I'd love to hear from others, because I've got Formic Pro. I went and bought it. It is like honey flow time. I've got supers on, and I'm planning on doing that. I hope I'm not wrong, but for all the people I give away honey to, I apologize, but it hasn't killed me yet. But do you know about that, Bracken?
I don't know what the rule is with that stuff. And I remember Apivar was kind of that way too, wasn't it? I think it's
gone back and forth.
It's gone back and forth as well, but I think Apivar is approved to be on with honey supers. I could be wrong, but I think it is. But yeah, I don't know about the Formic. I need to look into a little bit different again, but like, why?
Yeah.
And I know I worry about people saying, not worry about people saying, but like, I worry about my bees maybe building an immunity to it. But I use a lot of oxalic acid, whether it's the sponges or the vaporizer. Like, I use those 2 a lot. But then my supplement is the Apivar strips, and I've never had I know some people have bought bad batches, or they say they haven't worked, but again, I haven't had an experience like that, so I like it. I think it's easy to drop those in there and call her good. I have wanted to try the stuff you put on the top on the card. Is that the Formic Pro? No, that's
put on the top, on top of the brood box.
It's like the gel. Bob Binney uses it. It comes in a green tub. You use a little syringe. Oh,
I've done
Apagard.
Oh, Apagard, yeah. I've done the oxalic acid dribble method before.
Yeah, so my neighbor used to, the guy who, yeah, I've heard that that's pretty effective too. I've never tried that, but yeah, I want to do that. Let's see, Formic Pro, he is the North American rep. Oh, it doesn't show the link, Bruce. We got to figure out how to post links in the chat.
Listen, we can't, like, some people got it and some people don't, Bracken. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, just as a reminder, we're going to start wrapping up here in a little bit. Bracken, you tell me if you want to keep going, but we've got the Hive tool from Apis Tactical we're giving away this time, so throw in throw in hashtag Hive Tool if you want to win that. We got a few in there. This is a great time to win because a few months from now we're going to have hundreds and hundreds of viewers. And
you're funny.
Grayson, roll tide, go Cougs. That's Bruce's motto. It's
Roll
little
tide.
go Cougs. Bruce played football over at BYU. Do you know that, Bracken?
Yeah, I did. Yep.
It's kind of cool. So he's the best of both worlds. Go Cougs, roll tide.
What does roll tide mean? I don't know what that means.
That's Alabama football, Alabama anything, frankly.
I watch the Stanley Cup. I watch hockey. That's my
man.
sport. I don't know anything about football.
Utah Hockey Club's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, Nathaniel, we need to get you a Hive. So maybe you put it in there anyway. If you want a Hive tool, that saves shipping for me. I go right next door. Bring you the Hive tool.
No, he says he does. Yeah, I don't have a Hive to use it on. Oh yeah, we need to get you a Hive.
That's what I'm saying. He's got to get one.
Oh.
Redfish is always rolling tide. Got the roll tide going on. A lot of people from Alabama. What is it with Alabama and beekeeping?
It's because Bruce is probably on here. He's bringing the show. He's the star of the show behind the scenes.
Yeah, well, we appreciate Bruce, man.
Yeah.
Hey, before we get maybe just one last thing, because it was on the mite topic, and then we can get to actually. I'll start plugging in these names, if you kind of start talking about this for a second, Bracken. I was watching, if you've paid attention to it, but we all know that Randy Oliver is trying to build these mite resistant bees, right? And I've heard that he has they're selling them now. I don't know who they're selling them through. Is it Man Lake or something like that, where they have these 50% hive resistant bees? So they haven't gotten to the point where they're fully resistant, but 50% is pretty good. Like if you could not treat, I mean, I don't know how you decide you probably get them and then half die. And then you just know the ones that survive, but 50% mite resistant bees. Can you imagine? Like what's the worst thing about beekeeping? The worst thing about beekeeping is mites. If you're in Alabama, it could be hive beetle. Yeah, but
wax moth.
Do you know anything about that? Have you followed any of that?
Nope. Nope. I'm not gonna. I haven't. I was speaking to a guy that was messaging me on Instagram or not one of those social media platforms, and I think he said he bought some down there. He went down there, and I think he picked them up from Randy Oliver. Yeah, I got to find that conversation, but yeah, it was good. So, yeah, thanks everybody for joining us here. We're pretty new to it. I'm looking at YouTube. It looks like it says Bruce is going to have to give us a crash course one of these nights, maybe, or maybe we'll have to pay. It says 13 people are watching.
Yo, we got
double digits.
Hey, listen, I'm plugging in. Let me share my screen here. Add the stage. I'm plugging in everybody's name. There's probably a better way to do this. Checking anybody that put hashtag Hive Tool on here.
Let's see. We got Jed. Oh, that was your demo.
Tell me if I'm missing somebody. Oh, Damon.
No Life Beekeeper. Got them on.
I don't know that I saw that.
Yeah, that was one of the first ones. No Life Beekeeper. James Noel. Noel. Sorry, man.
I got Smiley Ray.
Jonathan Stevens.
Highland Honey. We got them. I don't have Jonathan Stevens.
Yeah, Old Glory Bees. Let's see. Highland Honey. I'll read them. You double check. Sorry, guys. Bear with us.
I think I've got them. I think they're on. Okay, everybody can see this, so you know it's legit. Bracken and I, we're not scammers here. We're doing this legit. Now, if I'm going to spin the wheel, whoever wins, stay on for a minute so I can get your email address, and then I'll shoot you an email address, and you can send me your address, and I'll ship it. I'll ship it to you. Okay.
Yeah, post your email, and they can email you.
Oh, Grammy doesn't see. Okay, we got to get Grammy on there.
Oh yeah, Grammy's on here. We got Grayson, Redfish.
Okay, here we go. Now we're going to do a giveaway every week. We did beekeeping gloves last week. We're doing a hive tool this week. Maybe we'll do some hats. We'll do some other stuff, but tell folks about it, and maybe we can get 15 people on next week.
Tiny Creek. Did you get Tiny Creek on there real quick?
No, I didn't. Let's get Tiny Creek.
He
Creek,
just threw on there.
Tiny Creek, you've been great on this live stream. We appreciate all the chatter.
Need all the hive tools I can get. That's funny. Grammy says that, so I want to talk about that real quick. I have bought so many hive tools. I think I know where 2 are right now. I'm sure people are that way.
Don't buy any more. I'll just I've got plenty of hive tools for you.
Sweet, we'll do some. Anyways.
Okay, who's Lisa? Is Lisa Grammy?
Yes.
Okay. I think we got everybody on here. Speak right. Now. Okay, here we go. And then the winner, just stay on. Uh-oh. Grayson. Hey, listen, everybody saw it. It was legit. No cheating here. So congrats, Grayson. That's awesome. Hang out for a second. Wait a second. We got to make sure Grayson is. I know he was on here. You still on, Grayson? Let's make sure Grayson is still on. Say something, Grayson, so we don't got. So if he's not on, we're gonna keep rolling.
Yep, he's on. There it goes. Thank you all. Yep, he's on.
So hang out for a second, Grayson. No, I've got your email.
I think I got his stuff too.
Yeah, send me your address, Grayson, and I'll ship this off to you. Now, if we ever have winners in like Australia, I don't know what to do. I got nothing for you. Whatever. We'll do something with that. But Bracken, any final thoughts before we break?
Nope. Let's try again next Thursday, same time.
Yeah. We'll do it again next Thursday. We're having a good time accomplishing our goals. It's great to be part of the beekeeping community. Love you. Appreciate all the support. Okay,
share with your friends. Let us know in the comments what you. I don't know if there's specific topics. I'm willing. I would love to talk to everybody all over, but if there's anybody in the Utah area or on this side that wants, specific things we could talk about, because again, beekeeping in Utah is completely different than beekeeping over there on the East Coast. So we want to help people in this area. We want to help everybody if we can, but I'm not going to tell you a whole lot of advice on how to do things back east because I don't know. That's a good topic for Bruce's channel, or you know what I mean? Not trying to steer them away from us, but I think you get what I'm trying to say. Like I want to help everybody, but I'm also not going to teach you about hive beetles because I don't experience them and I don't know. So if you have Utah dry desert climate type stuff, we can help with that stuff. Other than that, thanks for joining us. And
yeah, appreciate everybody. Thanks. We're thankful for the beekeeping community. Glad to be a part of it. We'll talk to y'all next week.
Yep. See ya.